Bonjour à toutes et à tous. So, good morning to everyone. I will try to say some very little words within my poor English, so sorry for that. On the behalf of the Vice Chancellor, the President Gaël Lagadec of the University of New Caledonia, I'm very honored and proud to welcome you all for this issue of the PIPSA conference here at the University of New Caledonia. It's not really the first time that the PIPSA is held here at the university, but it's the first time as the University of New Caledonia. There was one edition, I think maybe 20 years ago, something like that, with a joint University of French Polynesia and University of New Caledonia, but it's the first time like as the University of New Caledonia. So thank you very much to all of you to come being here. I really hope you're going to enjoy the conference. It's 2 full day of conference, so we're going to start in the morning pretty early and finish in the evening. But the program is very rich. I think we're going to hear a lot of very interesting paper, and I also hope you're going to have very good connections and networks here. If you get some more time, so if some of you will stay a bit longer, hope you're going to enjoy also maybe the city of Noumea and New Caledonia if you can stay a bit longer. So thank you very much. We organize this type of conference a couple of times a year, not in English. Usually it's more in a French network. So I don't think we're going to have a lot of people coming from the outside for the conference during the day because they will be in English most of the session. But I'm sure that, or I hope that in the evening for the conference about New Caledonia, we will enjoy a larger public of French-speaking public. New Caledonia, of course, you probably noticed that on the program is like in the center of the conference because we are now in a very important time for the country. And so I also hope that this conference will help New Caledonia and beyond, maybe the other island in the Pacific to find their way. Okay, so thank you very much for all of you for being here. And I will let Karin Baker from the INU, so the big organizer of the conference, give you some information. And then Stephanie Lawson, the president of the PIPSA, will also say some speech before we're gonna hear Colin. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Catherine. And before I start, I'd just like to acknowledge the huge amount of work that's gone into this conference from Catherine and the UNC staff. It's been a real pleasure to bring PIPSA to New Caledonia this year. I just have a few housekeeping stuff before we start off. So after this session, there'll be a group photo out the front of the building. So can we just go and do the photo very quickly before we go into morning tea? I'll be around to encourage you all to go out for the photo. So over the 2 days, the session titles that are in French, those panels will be in French. And we won't have any translation for the parallel sessions, but there's always an English session on at the same time as a French language session. The plenary sessions that start at 5:30, those will be translated. It won't be a professional translation. We've been very fortunate to have some people to help us out with the translations, but there will be translations available for those of you who don't speak French. In terms of the social program, there's a dinner on Wednesday. If you'd like to attend, please sign up this morning at the registration desk. And there's also a cultural centre visit on Thursday. And again, if you'd like to attend, please sign up today at the registration desk. There's a workshop on Thursday morning open to early career researchers. If you'd like to come to this, again, please sign up at the registration desk. And then just finally, at the end of the conference, the plan is to put together a publication, a bilingual publication in French and in English, a joint project between the University of New Caledonia and the Australian National University. So we'll be selecting some papers from the conference, and we will be contacting those presenters very shortly after the conference, and we'd ask that those papers come back very quickly by the end of July, so that we can get out the publication on this really important topic in a timely manner. That's all from me. If you have any questions about the conference, you can ask Catherine, you can ask me, you can ask Leah. We'll all be around. And I think that's all. Yeah. But so thanks very much, everyone, for coming. I'm going to pass you on now to the president of the Pacific Islands Political Studies Association, Professor Stephanie Lawson.
Thank you so much, Catherine and Karen. And first, I'd also like to offer my thanks to University of New Caledonia for hosting this event. It's very important that we do get institutions in the region to put these PIPSA events on. Otherwise, they might all be held at ANU, which wouldn't be so exciting. And we're very grateful, and we're all very happy to be here. And thanks also to Karen and others who've done so much to organise the conference. As Catherine pointed out, this is the second time that PIPSA has been held in Caledonia, and the first time was about 20 years ago. I couldn't find an exact date. We should be better at keeping our history straight at PIPSA, but unfortunately this is something that has been lost in the mists of time. Well, and of course we're very pleased to be returning now. Among those present, I would like to extend a special welcome to our honoured guests, and in particular Mr. Colin Tukuitonga, Director General of the Pacific Community, who will shortly be delivering our keynote address. The Pacific Community may be better known among some present as the SPC, and probably still known by the acronym, the longest-standing formal regional association of the Pacific, and itself an interesting subject for research in regional politics, and in fact I've been researching it myself, but I will not say more about that now. Second, I'd like to welcome all my PIPSA colleagues, which includes everyone in this room who is registered for the conference. So if you didn't know it before, having registered for the conference, you are now a PIPSA member. All you need to do is attend a conference and get on our email list, and then you're a member for life. PIPSA is an unincorporated association, and we operate without a formally codified constitution. And if entire countries like the UK and New Zealand can operate without one, well then so can PIPSA. We do, however, have a Wikipedia page, and if you consult the site, you'll find that PIPSA started in Hawaii in 1987. So it's been going a while, although I wouldn't call it an ancient institution. I believe the inspiration to establish a community of scholars with interests in the study of politics in the Pacific Islands came initially from the Brigham Young campus in Hawaii. Now, when I say community of scholars, incidentally, I include not just academics and students, but a very broad range of professionals and others, such as aid workers, business people, clergy, military personnel, politicians, public servants, anyone really who has a deep interest in and commitment to learning about politics in the region and contributing to discussions in one way or another. Now, from its beginnings in 1987, PIPSA has held conferences about every 2 years in many countries around the region. In addition to Hawaii, where it started, and New Caledonia, PIPSA has been to Guam, the Cook Islands, Palau, New Caledonia, Australia, New Zealand, Samoa, Tahiti, and most recently, Niue. We usually aim to have a conference in a Pacific Island state or territory rather than in Australia or New Zealand, or mainland North America for that matter. We haven't yet been to mainland North America. However, it depends on who is willing and able to host it. And we were very fortunate this time, as I said, to be invited to UNC. And for the future, we hope that people here who might have an interest in hosting PIPSA in the future and have some institutional support we'll give some thought to it. In about a year's time, there'll be an email come around to everybody on the PIPSA email list saying, is anyone interested in hosting the next PIPSA? So I'm planting the seed in your mind now. Now, it's 3 years since we had that last conference in Niue, but in the interim, PIPSA members participated in a number of special panels at the 25th World Congress of the International Political Science Association, IPSA, in Brisbane in July last year. This is the first time that the Congress had ever been held in Australia, by the way. Usually it's held in the Northern Hemisphere, although they do try to get south occasionally. Well, given its proximity to the Pacific, that IPSA conference saw a record number of presentations on topics concerned with the region, as well as a record number of scholars from the Pacific Island region itself attending there and presenting papers. And this obviously speaks to the general vitality of Pacific studies, as well as scholarship on Pacific Island politics in particular. Now, the general theme for PIPSA 2019, democracy, sovereignty and self-determination in the Pacific Islands, was chosen for its resonance with contemporary issues in a number of Pacific Island countries, including, of course, New Caledonia itself. Sovereignty and self-determination are obviously particular issues here with the referendum last year, a referendum that was certainly not the last word on the issue. There's also the forthcoming referendum in Bougainville, as well as self-determination issues in French Polynesia and West Papua. And, of course, for the tiny island off the Australian coast, Norfolk Island, first colonised, not by Australia at that time, but Great Britain in the first year that the colony was established in Sydney. So we even have a paper on Norfolk Island, which is experiencing problems with autonomy there. But of course, PIPSA welcomes papers on the full range of political issues concerning the Pacific Islands, as the program for this conference clearly shows, and there's many, many interesting papers on a very wide range of topics. So I've said enough, I hope, for the time being, and it remains only for me to once again thank our very generous hosts, the University of New Caledonia, the Department of Pacific Affairs at ANU for their support, and to welcome everyone very warmly. I'm now going to ask Mr. Colin Tukuitonga to please come and deliver the first address. Thank you very much.